Hi, I'm Broccoli Man, and I'm here today with a guide on how to make mechs. So, let's begin with an introduction. Hello, viewers. I'm Broccoli Man, and I'm currently a teen, and I'm in middle school at the moment. My hobbies include of Roblox, Minecraft, Ultra game development, and band. I made this video to help others and give tips. Enjoy the guide. We all have seen those cool mechs and playing crazy ones, and some even in public servers, but mostly in private servers being on videos. Maybe some of those mechs we want to build, but we've all tried once at least and have failed miserably. Like me sometimes, but I've gotten better. First thing we're going to talk about in this guide are hip joints. Hip joints can contain of motors and motor twos. Motor twos at like zero point 0.5 tolerance and zero torque to make it like an unpowered motor that you can set a max angle on. Motors are there for the rotation for the walking mechanic, which will be helpful to move, obviously. Here we can see a motor 2. This is not a motor, it's a motor 2. We can see that it's a motor 2 by its limited angle. You could do this with hinges, but it could be a little more complex and not compact. This is a simple way in making a hip joint for one of your legs if you want your motors to be unpowered, which is good for more physics based mechs. Okay, so right onto the arms, we can see that we have this small, simple diagram. Doesn't have that much compression because it's not a advanced mech like one of mine. This shows the text of what you should have in settings, pretty much. For the hinge, it has to be plus 10 of the angle lock block, which is this block right here, making it angled. The low torque and tolerance motor 2 is just a low torque and tolerance motor 2 set at an angle of 90. The low torque and tolerance motor 2 down here is set at an angle of 65. With these angles, we can get a more accurate punch and not be flailing everywhere. The rest is just the mechanics like the walking and the punching. We can see the punching mechanic when we press D to wind up our punch and press E to punch. We can do the same with the left hand by pressing A and then Q. We can also do a shove or a uppercut. Then we have the walking mechanic. Super simple, doesn't do much, it's just walking. Or you could use it as a punching mechanic. Do whatever. I'm not your mom, I'm not your boss. Yeah. Alright, now on to the legs. The legs are a super simple mechanism. It's just motors and two motor twos, unpowered motor twos. These motor twos help relieve the stress that the motors make, which is bad for this mech because the legs are just too buggy for it. Still works well, as you can see from this right here. What I mostly use for some of my mechs, like two that I have right now. It's a good way to start off walking until you get into the professional part, but we don't talk about that yet. So, the settings are just your controls that you want to use for the walking, and you have to make sure that when this leg is going forward, these two motors bend back. And when this leg is going forward, your left leg, these motors go back with it, but these motors straighten out. This is what gives it the walking animation that it's supposed to have. Okay, final part of this video. This part is the core, aka the body itself. It uses a ball joint to look in directions. You can also put a ball joint on the waist just for more control, but one is recommended enough because it's buggy enough. I use these propellers here on my body to keep me up when I'm walking. But if I had a compressed thruster, I would have some of those thrusters, like maybe one on each thruster rocket, to keep me up. You can also pick other than a ball joint to just have a motor too, powered to steer where you are, and a gyro, a small gyro core. This is the simple compression it has, and I don't think it's that much for some of you people, but yeah, it's good enough. It's not that compressed because the leg and the motor is just another unpowered motor if you pick the ball joint. Okay, so I know this wasn't the best tutorial or guide. I forgot what type of video this was, but it should give you like a small head start on how to make a mech like mine. Like some simple mechs, just some walking mechs that function. I will try to post a tutorial tomorrow, but I I might not have time. Have a good day, and I hope this guide helped.